Hello, let's do another video. Today we're going to make the village of Barovia church from Curse of Strahd. This is one of the maps that's going into my new Vampire Hunters tier over on the Man Cartographer. Let's get started. This is one of the earliest maps someone might come into in Curse of Strahd, outside of Death House. Let's put village of Barovia church. And like all the maps in this adventure tier, well, so far we have day, night, sunset, and blood moons. There's a few different variants of this. So I'm going to put village of Barovia church, day, to begin with. My grid size. I don't want this to be fog exploration. I do want this to be global illumination, unless it's below a particular lighting threshold. And then let's go with interior day and see what we've got. So, great little detailed map. A lot we're going to be doing and adding to the village of Barovia. But for the time being, let's get started. Warm a scene. Now we have an upstairs and a downstairs of this map. So the first thing I'm going to do is set levels. 2 levels. I'm going to say ground floor, because I'm British, which is 0 up to infinity. And our undercroft, which is -1 all the way down to -10. Now, it won't like this when I leave it because we have not set... We put our map background as a background, which puts it as 0 foot elevation, unless you go and change anything with your scene. But then when you're using levels, if we say the undercroft is at -10, then it's below the background of the map and it won't let us see it. So in that situation, we are going to add on the ground floor again as a tile. And then leave levels mode. I always keep the background on at first, just so I can overlay them. And then I'm going to go and actually remove the scene. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to get walling. Looks like a lot of this I can do snap to grid, which is convenient. Making sure to put nodes down wherever the walls will change, so I'm not coming back and messing around with things later on. So I would say, in my Curse of Strahd campaign, this church is where some of our first really good RP happened. My group tricked, convinced, well, they promised Father Donovich that they wouldn't hurt Doru once we found him. But Doru himself actually begged the group to kill him, which they did. And the father was extremely upset about it. And then as they walked away from the church, they heard a single ring of the bell. And the father, unable to come to terms with what had happened, had ended it all on the church bell after they left. Grisly stuff. I'm going to say these are 0 to 19. Have the roof 20 foot up. And make these heavy doors. But yeah, some really good RP happened here. This is where my group really started to find their legs. And I feel like even 150 sessions later, we had a campaign wrap-up Zoom call at the end. Because obviously, we got a fair few... We got a quiet, small, committed group of dedicated viewers over the 3 years we ran the campaign. Though I only streamed it for the last 18 months. And they had quite a few questions, particularly on the Curse of Strahd Discord. I was getting a lot of questions about my campaign, so we did a little group call. You can find it on this channel. It's in my Curse of Strahd playlist. Just talking about the things that happened, and it was very cool. We have windows. I am going to set these as new style proximity windows. I'll show you how those work in a moment. I set them to 15 foot and I put the attenuation on, which is basically a fade. What these proximity windows do, these proximity walls, they only act as walls when you're inside the specified range. What that means in terms of how I'm using them for windows is you don't appear on a map that you have vision on and immediately see out of windows that are 100 foot away. You have to get close in order to see through them. The main thing I use that for is it stops windows from making your maps really ugly. The example I always give is Argynvostholt from Curse of Strahd. It's a great, big dragon statue outside, but the players turn up, I think, like 70, 80 foot away from the building. But there's windows on the front, and if you have it as daytime and they have daytime vision, as they arrive on the map, they can see through the window of a building that's 80 foot away, they can see 20 foot across that room, and they can see enemies that are in there. People turn up to buildings and like, oh, well, there's a fight inside, isn't there? And it really frustrates me. Set some light effects in here. Height 0 to 19. I feel like I should maybe do the audio first on these, so you have something to listen to other than the silence of me working away and chatting. I used to put that jazz playlist on, but it doesn't really work when you're doing these. Yeah, this church has obviously been smashed by Doru when he came back from, well, Ravenloft. Let's put some sound on this, actually. I'm changing the order I'd normally do things. 0 to 19. Let's not fade it. Let's go with... For once, unlike all the other videos I did for last week, I put the sounds in there beforehand. And I wanted to go with this one, I decided. So a nice little ruined... I should have had it constrained by walls. There we go. Oh, did I forget to do a wall across there? There we go. The sound effect highlighted. But I missed a wall. Let's just do those tools to make sure it's locked on. Okay, but we still want some exterior sounds. I think I'm going to go with... How do I want to do this? Let's have a look. I am going to go with Forest Ravens over here. And You will be constrained by walls. Thank you. Okay, we have no exterior dead spot. But then inside... Yeah, you should be constrained by walls. You are constrained by walls. In fact... Yeah, at the moment, it will continue to play inside because the sounds extend higher than the ceiling. I'm going to take a different approach to that. Now we'll see that it stops inside. Next, we have some canopy effects in here. Images, maps, Church of Barovia, assets. We have this chandelier, which we want to always appear overhead. It has a height of, let me think, we're going to say 10. And a top of, I want to say 19, because we don't want it to clip through the roof. Might come back and change that if that doesn't work how I'm expecting. We also have trees outside. I've missed the trees. Trees are going to have a height of 20. And we also have undercroft. Now, sometimes I've never been able to really work out why you do sometimes lose things when you swap between scenes, even though it works. So I tend to, in those situations, change the background colour so I don't lose sight of a canvas as I'm working. I want to add on the undercroft, which thankfully it looks like is on a full map size. So that works very well for me. I can jump back to where it was. And I can put on a roof. A roof for our building. Barovia data. Oh, but went on perfectly. So this is overhead. This is a roof. This is fade. This reveals line of sight. Our roof begins at 20 and has a height of infinite. Make sure that works for us so far before we carry on. Yep. Do we pass underneath the chandelier? Oh. No, so I need to refine that chandelier height. Let's have a look. So, overhead, always visible. Levels, bottom. 20. Interesting. Try and get rid of that. Okay, so now we pass under it. But I'm worried if it too has a height of infinite, that it's going to poke through the roof. No, but it hasn't. Okay, that's fine. Next, I want to head down to the undercroft and do some underground walling. Oh, I know what that's from. That is that wall that I put in the church before. There we go. Now I've put the right wall height on it. It's vanished. So, are these walls close enough that I can get away with snap to grid? That's oh, no, doesn't look like it. Okay, so we can't snap to grid for these, which I guess is fine. They're more roughly hewn. The amount of detail we go into of how many wall nodes really depends on the map. we used to try and go hyper specific and detailed. But on a couple of our larger maps, it would blow computers up. One of the Feywild's maps in particular, the World Tree Routes, is an enormous map. And I did it to that level of fidelity. And like the map cartographer himself, he's got like a £5,000 PC. He just, all his exports and huge processing huge clip files from his maps, couldn't even move on it. It was completely lagged out. Yeah. We have to be a little bit rough with it sometimes. And then the rafters. Now these rafters, the low crawl space, we're never going to climb over these. So these are not going to be things that we can get on top of. So I'm going to say that within this level range, they're just always overhead. There's no means of getting on top of them. These are just there to make a bit of a boring room look more interesting. Let's have a look here. Okay, to take you down 10 feet through the floor, admittedly, but let's have a look. We haven't gone through that. We're going to need to do a little bit of tweaking here to make this work. So is overhead not always visible? The bottom is -10. Of course, it's a problem. I want bottom and top to both be -1, I think. Change the height to 0. Just to head back down there. No, we still show through it. We are in. Okay, let's review it more. So much of levels maps is just this. Oh, now we are. Wait, what happened there? So am I below it or aren't I? Because when I go into levels view, I show us below it. Interesting. Let's have a look. So, show even when below. That might have some bearing. There we go. So now we've passed under. Let's make sure it hasn't glitched through upstairs though. Hasn't glitched upstairs. Let's make sure it hasn't glitched onto the roof. Good, we don't have floating banisters. Okay, so we fixed that. All we have left to do now is our hatch. Oh, interestingly. Yeah, we're going to enter here and walk down. So the way I normally like to do these is just a square. We're going to call it, text label is hatch. 25. I normally go for and we set this to be an elevator. So elevator floor is 0, climb up, -10, climb down. Should do it. Let's have a look. Do we have our guy still here? Climb down. Cool, we're in there. Back, climb up. Excellent. One thing I forgot to do, we didn't put a sound effect down here. We didn't put any sort of sound in the Undercroft. Let's have a look and see what we've got. So it's going to be -1 to -10. We should go with, where are we? I think I know what I want to go with. We do have dark brooding. I want to see if we also have one of the amber tone ones I was thinking of. No, so I think we can have dark brooding, very, very quiet in here. And then Doru is down here and he's been getting fed, hasn't he? some with either livestock or with some of Father Donovich's blood, or maybe even with villages of Barovia, depending on how you run it. So I'm going to put a very, very quiet flies over here as well. Okay. And we have, well, I'm just going to change that so that we have our black background again. We now have our Village of Barovia church. Cool. Job's done. From here, it's now a case of me duplicating and going Blood Moon, save changes, load. And then I can open our tile sorter and go, right, Undercroft stays the same, the beams stay the same, but the exterior map becomes the Blood Moon one. Chandelier, I don't think we have different versions of a chandelier, do we? Nope. But we have a different version of trees. We have a different version of a roof. And there's our Blood Moon variant. Then, I do it again. We have our Sunset variant. And I will swap out map for Sunset map. Trees for Sunset trees. And roof for Sunset roof. The one that's different, obviously, is night. So if I make the night version, first of all, I will go and change the tokens, the tiles. We have our nighttime version. We have our nighttime trees. And we have our nighttime roof. But you'll have seen that I've been doing my night versions as raining. So let's make those changes. So we have the rain coming in. We then want to look at our sounds. So we had that the no fire one. There was a rain version of that sound. Which I'm going to set. Oh, no, that's the fly super floor I think I just went for. No, it's not. It's fine. Outside we have our nice peaceful sounds we can change. And there we go. We now have a more appropriate. Let me get this guy head in. One thing I realised I forgot to do, which I'll fix after this video so I'm not wasting your time repeating it, is I didn't put torch sounds on, but then I've duplicated it across all those variants. So I'm going to need to go in and put sounds on for torches. So what I like about these two different sound effects is we have the outdoor rain and thunder, but we head inside and we have a different rain track, which is more distant. So it really sounds like you've come inside and the rain is now outside. You can look out, see the storm. One thing I want to get as well, which I'll do off video, is get a water dripping sound effect for in this room with this break in the ceiling. If it's raining, water should be dripping in. But yeah, that is the Village of Barovia Church, other than those last couple of changes I need to make. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, these are all part of our new adventure tier Vampire Hunter over on the Mad Cartographer. You can see it over there. Check it out on Patreon. We're doing multiple Curse of Strahd maps a month, free versions of some official ones, but also we're going to have our Foundry content I'm a member of the Curse of Strahd Discord and subreddit, one of the moderators there. I'm writing content for it, adventures, encounters, supplements, items, NPCs, and we're going to keep updating that. So yeah, jump on over, have a look, and I'll see you next time.